Yo, appreciate you being here. Let me start off by saying this, man. I am super thankful and super appreciative of all the people who signed up and subscribed. What I will ask is that you subscribe, share to a friend, tell a friend, and don't forget to remember to tell a friend, right? Um, the last one, somebody sent me a message. One of my friends, one of my people sent me a message. It was like, yo, you put on mad chapsticks. Yo, my lips be dry, son. It's that season. What is it about fall season that makes your lips dry and you just constantly got like your lips are dry, like you're dehydrated or something. Everybody knows I drink a ton of water. I don't know what it is. But listen, I appreciate everybody who has watched and subscribed. Think what I really would appreciate if when you watch, like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna be one of those guys now that be like, hey, like, share, subscribe. I guess I'm a official YouTuber now, right? So please like, share, and subscribe because it helps out the channel and it keeps things pushing, it keeps things moving, and it helps me out a lot. Right? With that being said, listen, again, super appreciative. I know my numbers are not super big. I'm not even going to exaggerate. What the numbers you guys see, I see, in the back end of YouTube, the numbers look a little bit different. So I'm appreciative of all those people that show up. Appreciative of everybody. Thankful. Right. With that being said, let's get to the show. Right. So we here. It's all good in the all good in the hood. Right. I'm trying to think because I actually have my notes. I'm trying to think of the way I want to lay this one out today. You know what I mean? Let me start by saying this. Thick thighs save lives. Yes. Sipping on my Jack Daniels. But thick thighs save lives. I'm going to say it again. Thick thighs, there is nothing. And if you follow my Instagram, nothing like grabbing a nice little ham hock of a fucking thigh. Just grab it and, especially when you're driving. Oh, Lord. You're driving and, and this is no disrespect to you skinny minis and smaller ones, but a nice BBW thick thigh and just, you drive it, just, oh my God. Ain't nothing like it. You guys that talk about, oh man, I ain't really into the big girls. You guys are sick. Don't know what y'all missing. I'll tell you that now. Have no clue what you're missing. But that part is going to be short because I got a lot of shit to cover today. A lot of things to cover. Right? So let me get to it. I'm on the gram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all these social media things. I'm on YouTube, blah, 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 and I'm hearing the same old sob story that I've been hearing for years and years and years and years. And men like myself, I think we're at the point where we're just kind of like tired of hearing the same sob story. That sob story be deadbeat dads and baby fathers. We're tired of hearing the story about, oh, deadbeat dad, deadbeat dad this, oh, my baby father ain't this, blah, blah, blah. We're tired of hearing it, man. Be honest with you. Now, do they exist? Of course they do. But at some point of time, and this may trigger a few people, but at some point in time, y'all gotta take responsibility for self, man. Take some accountability on it. Now, I've said this before. I say it all the time. You hear me say it, on all my social medias, whatever. I'm a man of a certain age, right? I've spun the block more than a few times, right? I'm a diehard Brooklynite, right? And I'd say it all the time. If you're not from New York, you might not understand, but I'm a diehard Brooklynite through and through. Huh? Flatbush, Church Avenue. That's where I'm from. Listen, I have a multitude of associates and friends. And so this is how it goes for me. I have associates, friends, and then my circle. My circle consists of friends and family, right, who I hold dear to me. And that circle is super small. Outside of that, I have, my outside friends, and then I have associates. I've been around the block enough times. At one point in time, I'm not even going to tell you what the nickname was, but I know enough people, right? Not just Brooklyn. And this is no boastful nothing. What I'm just trying to make people understand a point. If you're from New York or you know of New York and you understand when I say that I'm from Flatbush, from Church Ave, I'm from Brooklyn, but I was good everywhere. Bronx, Staten Island, Queens, everywhere, right? So I know more than a little bit of people. And more than a little bit of people know me, right? I personally don't know any deadbeat dads. Now, I don't know one. No, lies. I know one. I know one. There's one that I do know. But the crazy thing is I don't associate with him. He's not a friend. He was a friend, but because of his actions, not because of his actions towards his child, but because of his actions as a man, I don't associate with him. And I'm saying that to say is there are more, with the amount of people that I know, and those people who know, and before I made this, I called, I made phone calls. It was like, yo, man, and I asked certain people, like, hey, you know any deadbeat dads, bro? And the answer always came up, no, I don't. Now I have, and I've said it before in prior pods, my best friend is a female, right? It's a woman. Been my best friend for over 30 years. Over 30. She knows where all the bodies are at. Figure of speech, of course. But saying that to say is, if I was to ask her, she would say, oh, yeah, my homegirl, or, yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Like, her conversation would be a little bit different. But what I'm saying is, as a man, I don't know any. Not one. My peoples, I called about 20 people. I text message just the day before this is being recorded. I text message I don't know how many people, just so I can have an accurate conversation when I'm, and this is not even a real conversation because I'm not talking to anybody but you guys. But so I can have an accurate account of what the feedback that comes back. And none of the people who I hit, and I wasn't specific. I've had the same phone number for over 20 years, the same phone number. So my Rolodex of people it's vast, right? When I'm talking about industry people, my Rolodex of people in my phone is vast. Hence why I never change my number. If I don't want to fuck with you, I'm just not answering the phone call. That's it. I'm not doing the whole number change. I don't believe in that because I got business to do. I'm always about business, so I'm not missing out on an opportunity. Anyway, besides that, I don't know any deadbeat dads, and nobody I hit knew any deadbeat dads. So when you come down and you start thinking about 6 degrees of separation, right? And if you're not if you're not in the understanding of what that is, 6 degrees of separation it's kind of like a one of those like laws. Like, okay, I know you, and in between you and I, 6 degrees of separation. 6 degrees meaning it might be a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a family member, blah, 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 one way or the other. By the time you get to person 6, they might know somebody I know, or they might know me, or there is some sort of attachment. We're all attached one way or the other, right? So 6 degrees down, you know what I mean? Within that 6 degrees, I'm going to know somebody, you're going to know somebody, we're going to have some kind of attachment. Whether even if we never met before, we'll find a way to have some kind of attachment. I don't know any deadbeat dads, right? My peoples don't know any deadbeat dads, which leads me it kind of confuses me because I'm like, how is there so many conversations about deadbeat dads, right? And everybody I know is like mind like me, where we have homegirls and female friends and family members and blah, blah, blah. So at some point you have to say to yourself, like, oh, maybe you just, you know what? That's another twist, because I was going to say, at some point you might say, well, I and my people might be the odd bunch, right? But no, in reality, people like myself and others like me are the majority. It has to be something with you that chose that type of that deadbeat dude. You chose that nigga. Let's just keep it a buck. You chose him. Because here's my thought process. If you know me, if you're a female and you know me, and you know the type of guy that I am, right? I'm not available to you because we're friends. My immediate friends are, but it would behoove you to be like, all right, let me look into the people that's around him, meaning me, right? To find the kind of dude that I'm looking for, rather than go to the PJs. And I'm not, let me not, because not every dude in the PJs. I'm just making an example. So, because people like to hold on to words, but I'm just saying, rather than go to the fucking PJs and ask Pookie, you know what I mean, and let Pookie knock you up, and Pookie ain't attached to no good nigga you know. That's what I'm saying, right? When you looked at Pookie's circle, Pookie was surrounded by a bunch of other deadbeat niggas, so you knew who Pookie was. So why wouldn't you surround yourself with men who are good-spirited men, whether it be, you know what I mean, might be in the street or whatever, but he's good to his kid. All right. So tie it together. Let me say this. And I don't talk about family and stuff. Like, I don't get in depth, right? But it has to be said. Here's the thing that bothers me, and this is what kicked us off. I'm at the point in life now where I don't like people, and people say it to me a lot, and this is not boastful, this is not nothing, but people say it to me a lot. Like, oh, yo, man, you're such a good dad. You're such a good father, right? And I've had family members, say it to me. You know what I mean? My mom says it to me. And let me tell you something. When I hear from my mom and my grandmother and my aunt, you know what I mean, and the women of my family who I hold dear to my heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, it does feel good, but then there's not necessarily a resentment behind it, but there's a feeling of like, why? Why does that have to be said? Why does that feel like it's becoming the norm for you to have to say that to me? Because, like, there's so much of me all around. It's the social media that's making people feel like, that the deadbeats are the majority. They're not. They're not. It can't be, right? Listen, I hit up no less than 30 people. No less than 30 people via phone call and text message. No less than 30 people I hit up. All 30 people said no. Those 30 people had 30 other people that they could have thought of to say yes. Nobody had any inkling of that'd be bad. And it trickles down the line. So it's got to be something where, all right, a man of a certain value is going to keep us, his friends of a certain value, right? Maybe, just maybe, instead of you choosing, or instead of you saying, yo, that corny dude over there, not talking about myself, I'm just saying, that corny dude over there, whack, whatever, maybe if you're not into the corny dude, see who the corny dude is around, right? Because that corny dude might be attached to some really good niggas. Because truth be told, every hood nigga, every so-called real nigga, whatever you want to call it, has some people that the average person would deem as a corny cat, right? But he's really not corny. He's just not maybe not in the club the same way. He's not in the street the same way. He's just a genuine good guy, but because of society, we deem him as a cornball. But he's not really corny. It's just he's not doing what the so-called hood norm is, right? Let me tell you this, and I'm gonna share this. My oldest son, I've had custody of him for almost damn near all his life, right? Just about all his life. His mother and I are in no way would I ever say that we have a bad relationship, right? We don't have a great relationship, because that would be a lie. What we have is a consideration. We both love our son, right? We both love our son. whatever the situation that happened, I'm not going to get into whatever the situation that happened that end up allowing me to have custody of him. That is what it is, right? But when something is affecting our son and we both have to be, we have to be in tune with each other. She'll reach out, I'll reach out, and that's when we speak. Other than that, she has her life, she's doing her thing or whatever. There's nobody in this world that could tell you that I speak ill of her. I don't, it's just not my thing. Now, I can't say that she does the same. I don't know. I'd be lying if she says that. I don't know. I don't know it, and I don't answer. I've never in life answered my son hey, does your mom talk about me? Not because it don't matter to me, because at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. Whatever's said about me, you got to prove it wrong, because my actions is always going to be the same. Regardless. I'm this kind of human. I'm this kind of father. I'm this kind of man all the time. So now whatever it is that you may have, negative or positive, whatever it is, you have to show a crazy burden of proof to prove it wrong, because I show it a certain way. I show my love a certain way. I show my distaste for things a certain way. So all that to say is, my son's mother will never say to anybody, oh, just because we're not together, she wouldn't say that he's a bad dad. She might have words about me as a person, and I take that. That's fine, right? But she couldn't really talk about anything as me as a father. It would be too hard to prove when, you see how my son is, and you see how our son is, and everybody knows what the situation was. So it would be a hard account for you to try to come up and say, oh, he's this kind of father. It wouldn't make sense. Now, what she has to say about me personally, and maybe my personality and our interaction, that's completely different. That's her perception, and I'm fine with that. It doesn't matter. But again, I don't know any deadbeat dad. And at the end of the day, chick, if you ended up with a deadbeat dad, you chose that nigga. You have to question yourself, because you had a ton of... Listen, let's get into some facts. Because I don't want to stray, and then everybody's like, oh, I'm downing women or whatever. Let's get into some facts. If Africa fell off of the planet right now, and Africa is the biggest continent on this planet, and it fell off of the planet, just slid off, the ratio from man to woman would still be 7-1. Right? It would be 7 women to 1 man. Women have a multitude of options. A multitude of options. So when I hear women speak on, oh, this nigga ain't shit, blah, 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 you chose that nigga. You had other options. That was a choice. Right? It's hard to hear. It's hard to accept. I get it, especially coming from a man. Maybe I should have a female co-host for this subject, but I know it's hard to hear from a man, but I'm telling you as it is. It was your choice. You had options. You did it. You did it. Now you want to be mad and talking about, and then here's another part where you say, oh, well, he wasn't like that in the beginning. I was tricked. And I was like, nah, you saw the sign. Even if you didn't see the sign in him, on him, or whatever, you saw who he was around. you saw that his best friend was living off of his girl the whole time. Never worked, right? Never pushed. You know what I mean? Driving around his girl's car, just some duck ass nigga that just never had. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times where, yeah, you know what I mean? A guy and a girl are together, or a guy and a woman are together, and the man might be fucked up, and the woman holds him down for a little bit till he gets on his feet. That's fine and dandy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the dude that just strictly lives off of the chick. Don't do nothing. She go to work, he's in bed. She come home, he's in bed. And then late night, he's out. Yo, let me get $20 on me so I can buy some cigarettes and go the fuck out and get him some drinks or whatever. And he's hanging out on a fucking corner every night. And then you turn around and you go get that nigga, you let that nigga bust a semen up in you. That's your fucking problem. Your issue. Nobody else's but yours. Right? You want to complain. You want to get agitated. No, it's a you problem. It's a you problem. If you're allergic to strawberries, then you can't eat strawberry cheesecake just because cheesecake is at the bottom of the fucking strawberry. You're still allergic. Stay away from it. No. Well, it's not that much strawberry. This cheesecake. You make excuses for the bullshit, and then now you want to cry about it when your lips swell up. And your throat feels like we want to close. Right? There are more good men. There are more good fathers. There's more greatness happening than y'all are allowing to be seen. Right? You're letting social media and all these other things and whatever this concept is. And here's where it irritates me, because you're putting it more on men of color, melanated men at that, right? And making them seem like, oh, all black men are dogs, and you know what I mean? Bullshit. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Let me tell you another thing. I'm from the Caribbean. Now, this, and again, this may sound triggering. I know. Even before I say it, I know it may sound triggering, and I know every woman, as soon as she hears this, is going to say, well, that's bullshit. But listen to your mothers and your grandmothers when they talk and tell you stories. Listen to the names that they say when they talk and tell you to the stories. I'm talking to the women of the Caribbean. Listen, even the women of down south. Matter of fact, it don't matter where you are. Listen to your mothers and your grandmothers when they tell stories about certain names. Listen to the names. Listen to the storyline. You're not paying attention. Huh? When she tells you, oh, hey, hey, Brother Sam's, he had a wife, and, they had 6 children, whatever. And then a couple of years later, all of a sudden you hear another story about same Brother Sam, but she's not calling Brother Sam. She's not talking about Brother Sam's wife. She's saying Brother Sam's girlfriend. And you're like, wait, didn't Brother Sam have a wife? Why is she calling him girlfriend? Calling her girlfriend? No, she's not wrong. Right? Brother Sam had a wife and he had a girlfriend. But Brother Sam took care of all them 5 kids at home and all those 3 kids with his outside woman. And you know what? And everybody was happy. Right? Now, is he a fucked up husband? Yes. Is he a fucked up boyfriend? Yes. But is he a good father? Yes. Sounds fucked up, but it's a fact. It's true. It is what it is. Don't like it, but it's a fact. It's true. You have men out here that might be fucked up in relationships, but they're good fathers to the fucking kids. Well, how could they be a good father? What kind of representation? The kids don't fucking know. Their kids don't fucking know. And they don't give a fuck. Does dad show up? Yes, he does. Does dad show up over here? Yes, he does. That's what the fuck the kids care about. They don't care about nothing else. You care about him. Now, what? As you should. Let me not say that, just clear the air. As you should. Your relationship, whatever. Your feelings are your feelings. And you're welcome to it. That's not what I'm talking. I'm strictly talking about fatherhood. I'm strictly talking about dads and fathers. That's what I'm speaking on. I'm not talking about anything else. Relationships, that's a whole nother story. I'll deal with that. But I'm just tired of this deadbeat narrative that keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And again, like I said, and I said on the last pod, and I was going to address it, stop listening to your you chicks who are in relationships and you listen to your fucking single friends. One don't match the other. I said it. I'm not going to ask somebody who can't drive to teach me how to drive. And I'm trying to be respectful. I'm really trying to be respectful. And what I think I'm going to do with this topic, I'm going to bring this topic back in here, but I'm going to bring the topic with multiple women in here. And it's just going to be me as a male. And not because, I think I'm great or whatever, but I want a few other views on this topic because it's just such a lame thing that lame narrative that we're allowing people to put on us, and we're putting it on ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I don't do it include, but I'm saying as melanated people, we keep putting it on ourselves. And we're making it seem like these deadbeat niggas are the majority. These deadbeat niggas are not the fucking majority. That's the minority. That's a whole fact. And not just because I called 30 people that it made me figure it out, but I don't know any. I don't know. I've never met a deadbeat dad except for one, but he was just a fucked up individual. All right, so I couldn't even keep her around me. My point is, why don't you, the good dudes that you women know, why, if you're not going to deal with that guy or the good dude that you know, or he's not available or whatever, and his direct friend, look at his friends, look at the people he comes around. Even if you don't want to choose one of them, you have a plethora of different ideas of the type of good men they are. Why wouldn't you choose something like that? Why go to fucking Pookie, who already has 9 kids in the hood, surrounded in the projects, and his baby moms is fighting there. All his baby moms fight every week. Why choose that? Over fucking Heathcliff. Heathcliff. Why even choose that name? Why? I don't even know why. Why did I say Heathcliff? But why would you over Heathcliff, who's a good guy? You know what I mean? Good. They ain't been working at his job, whatever. You know what I mean? And has no kids. That's another thing that tripped me out. And I'm not going to call a name yet because I want to talk to them. These 2 amazing ladies have a pod. And I don't want to shout them out, and I don't want to shout their names out until I can have a conversation, and maybe we can do some dual thing together and really have, because they evoke great conversations. They're like almost the same, but not. I really love their show. But before I have a conversation with them, I mean, I don't want to speak. I don't want to shout out because they might not be willing, and I just don't want it to be messy. But I'll say this: what I do like about them and their show is that they're kind of the same but different, and their topics evoke conversation, right? I think how they have it down right now, like I see it being greater I would like to see them together more because they kind of do it separated, split screen. They're in two different places. I would like to see them together more, but I think they have something amazing going out. However, sometimes when they lead with topics, and I mentioned it in the last pod, not about them, but just saying like when you speak on certain situations, especially with men, you have to be specific about age and era, right? Right. If you when you're talking about relationships and things of that nature, you have to be mindful of age and era because some of the negative things you're putting on men are males and not men. It takes a while for a male to become a man. And women might not understand that because sometimes they look and they feel like they're looking at a man, but they're not really looking at a man. They're looking at a male because a male could be in his 30s and still not a man yet, right? And here's another misconception: like you don't have to be in the street to be a man. Like you don't always have to be a hooker. Listen, God bless the dead man. Like, and that this really hurt me. Um, Donovan Davy, good friend of mine, man. Like, basically we grew up together, but he is the perfect example of good fucking dude. He was a great guy, man. Left his impact, as everybody would say, great fucking guy. He was always out of the way. Just, he lived in the hood, but he wasn't about the hood. Like let him go to, he went to school, did his thing, went to work, just genuine, good fucking guy. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? He lost his life to, uh, for because of a fucking loser who had nothing to to gain in life other than to take a life. Sucker shit. And the last I heard is that man was caught, and I hope they put him under the jail. But let me say this: Donovan Davy, great guy, SIP. Um, still my condolences to his friends and family. That one really hurt. He was a great guy. I have a message from him, and I don't really be on Facebook like that. I have a message from him on Messenger, and um, it was every year he would send me. We wouldn't even talk much. Like, I had moved away from the area or whatever, but every year religiously, and I know it comes up on Facebook, but the fact that he took the time to say happy birthday, not on my page, but in my, like direct to me, was appreciated, every year. And my last message from him was, happy birthday, bro. And I leave it on unread. I left it on unread just so I can have it there. You know what I mean? Like, just a good guy. But let me say this: a woman would that type of guy, right? And I'm let me tie it together because I know now it seems like I'm drifting. I was bringing up the young ladies because they have these, great conversations about men and relationships and blah, blah, blah. But also they would say things, oh, like men are this kind of way and men are this kind of way. But at the same note, you would say, okay, oh, men just, stick they shit in anybody any way they want and blah, 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 and they move on. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But you meet a man of a certain age and he doesn't have kids and he says out loud, nah, I'm saving I want to be a good father. I'm saving it I'm saving, myself, not that he's a virgin, but I'm just saving the whole me being a father kid to a woman that I know I'm going to be with because I want to be a certain kind of father. What? you of a certain age and you ain't got kids yet. What's wrong with you, nigga? Right? That be the conversation. And they don't hear themselves when they say it. See, because you're preaching one thing. And what you're saying, a lot of times it makes sense. But when you say something like that, it kind of contradicts what you're talking about. Right? So, it be that fine line like, what do y'all really want? Do you want the good dude, or do you, like where are y'all at? And I think a lot of it is you have to figure yourself out. And everybody was always talking about, break the generational curse. You got to break the generational curse. Like, how could you break the generational curse when you don't realize that you've been cursed? If you don't realize that there's a curse on you, or that what you have experienced or what you're going through or what you're doing is part of an ongoing circle, then how could you attack it? How could you fix the situation when you feel like it's your norm? Unless you get around some people who are I don't want to say greater. That's a bad word, but who are in a better situation than you are. And you have a sit down and say, "Yo, what's going on? Like, explain to me how you got this way." By answer real questions, speak to good people, and have real conversations with them. Because I know I have female friends that come to me and they answer me questions sometimes, but they only answer me when shit gets fucked up. Why you don't answer me when you're feeling good? Right? Like, that way it could be like a real conversation. Like when you're feeling when shit's fucked, why a nigga like this? And now I gotta explain, and every time I try to explain something to you, you're battling me on it. So you don't really want the answer. Because the answer always ends up going back to it's your fault. And then that's when the whole accountability shit comes up, and Lord knows we don't want that problem, because who wants to take accountability? It's a sad thing. Give myself a little pause break. Vape thing was annoying me. But, and yes, I vape, so what? You know what I mean? I've been smoking cigarettes since 13 and got off the vape. I'm going to do a segment on vape too, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about vape, and we're going to get to it. But back to it. Women have to take accountability and understand what it really is. It's your choice. You can't say your body, your choice, and then now turn around and blame the nigga because of your bad choice. You knew who he was. You seen who was around him. This nigga ain't no good. You know how much, let me tell you something. I have a plethora of female friends. And it's for a reason. It is for a reason. Not because of, horn dog or whatever, but you know what? The female friends that I have around me are like super real. And they understand, like, yo, we're peoples. Peoples for life. My best friend, I always say, is she's a female. But we have real conversations. And the most beautiful thing is when they can answer me a real question. I can tell them the real nigga shit with no qualms. Like, yo, like, I've been in situations where I've gone out with females, and I see, we're in the club or whatever, and I see them, who they grabbing up. And I'll look at them in the end of the night and like, yo, what you doing with that? You keeping it, or it's a fun night. I know it's just a fun night, but he's so sweet. Yeah, wrap it up. Make sure you wrap it up. That nigga seen the kind of truck you drive. He's trying to put something in you to hold you down. And that's a fact. There, niggas cold like that. Niggas get outside the club, they know they got there in a fucking cab. This is before Uber. Got out there in a fucking cab. Oh shit, shorty getting in the fucking whatever truck. Oh, she got bread. I'm about to breathe that and keep that close. Drive that shit around and whatever. Right? But y'all don't want to admit that. You know what? I think what it is it's not just accountability, but y'all don't want to admit that you got duped. That's what it be feeling like. Y'all don't want to admit that, like, somebody got over on you, and where you try to give grace, they got over. So now you feel away, so you ain't going to admit that, nah, he tricked me all the way. But you saw the signs, mama. You did. You saw it. You saw him, you saw his peoples, you seen his family, you went to his parents' house. His parents was living on air mattresses, and you still fuck with this nigga. And that's a true story. That's a true story. Mom, not my best friend, another homegirl, was like, yo, she went to the nigga crib. The nigga's parents were sleeping on air mattresses, side by side air mattresses, and he was in the basement. I don't know if y'all familiar, but before all of this Serato and laptop stuff, and you had the DJ equipment, you had a what we used to call a coffin. It was a big case that you had to put your turntables in. If you don't remember, whatever, I was a DJ for years before anything else. Before I became a producer, engineer, and all that other stuff. Used to be a coffin. She said the mother and the father were sleeping on air mattresses side by side, right? And he was in the basement and and he was sleeping in the DJ coffin with a thick blanket folded long way, and that's where he was sleeping. And I asked her, well, where the fuck? Where the hell, where'd y'all do this? Oh yeah, in the corner or whatever. Like, he wasn't shit, man, but the dick was good. Oh, you sick bitch. You sick bitch. I hope he knocked you up. That was the exact words that came out of my mouth. Man, I hope he knocked you the fuck up, man. Because something wrong with you. Why would you even do that? But again, y'all play these games, and then when it hits, you don't want to take the accountability that this is what happens. Y'all got to take accountability and understand like what it is, man. Are they deadbeat niggas? Yes, they are. But you are choosing these deadbeat niggas. Now I want to go further, but I don't want to go too far because this topic, I want some other females to be a part of it and have the conversation, and I just want it to be me. I don't want other guys. I want it's many females as I can find to bring in here and have the conversation. Let's do it. Line up the whole wall back with all women, whatever, right? But the conversation needs to be had. But I don't want to sound like I'm just bashing women, because are some women duped? You are, but the dupe don't really be duped because I'm going to say this, 95% of the time, the ones that got duped weren't really duped. You saw what it was, but you chose to ignore it. That's a fact. You chose to ignore it. And then now you want to complain about what the situation is. You know? But I'm with closing on that topic. This is what it is. I'm gonna bring some women in. Go on my comments, whatever, and state whatever you feel about it. You know, if you disagree, put it in the comments, man, and we redo the joint with some other women in here, and maybe I might even do a live if it's enough comments and enough, conversation about it. Then I might just do a live and let people join up, and we all have a good old time and talk about it. But it's your fault. It's your fault, right? Yeah, I held Kevin Samuel's feet to the fire when he said certain things. Did I agree with everything Kevin Samuel said? No, I did not. But the crazy thing is, and here's what the facts are, because I just like facts. When he was kicking men's back, all his content was about kicking men's back in and telling them, get your shit together. His shit wasn't really moving. The minute he started telling women to do the same thing, all of a sudden it was through the roof, and he's the talk of the town. Also, when you look and he goes live, and you look at who's all in the live, 80% of let me not lie, about 70% of what was in that room or what was live watching him in those videos and in those comments were women. The majority of his listeners were and his supporters were women. So that's what I'm saying again, is because now we have a thing where it seems like, oh, all these women are like, oh no, fuck Kevin Samuels and he was this horrible person, but the majority of his supporters were women agreeing with him. How wrong could he be if the 70% is saying, nigga, you right? But we listen to this little 10 or 15% talking about, oh, man, shit. Why are you gravitating to that? Why are you not paying attention to your sisters that are down there talking about, yo, you right? Look in the comments. Go back to his old stuff. Look in the comments. Not the troll pages. The grown ass women in there like, hey, you're right. Absolutely. Women need to take accountability for their bullshit. Nah. Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. Right? Or you have the other set that just watched clips and never watched the full vid. They just watched the little clips of the excerpts that triggered them, and they were going off of that instead of going back and like, okay, this triggered me a little bit, but let me watch the full episode and see what it was about. Nah, that would be too easy. Why would I want to do that? Listen, I have a tight circle, a very tight bubble. I don't let a lot of people in, right? And I know it seems like I just jumped, but let me explain what I'm talking about, because I'm all for that. I'm closing with that baby father thing, but I just want to highlight you about trust real quick, because I think it's important. And I heard a couple of things. I experienced some shit. I spoke on it a little bit, but let me just reiterate a few things. I have a very small bubble. My bubble's been forever small. I don't keep a lot of people close to me, to my heart. And even those people that I keep close to me, I don't put 100% of trust in them. And that's not just me because I'm not trusting of people. I just trust that humans will be human, right? I'm gonna give you an example. If I put $1 million on the table, and I give you the scenario, let's just say this: I got 5 of my people in the room, or people that I'm associated with or friends with or whatever. And I pose this question to you. And I say, yo, I got $1 million on it. I'm gonna leave $1 million on the table and I'm gonna be gone for 3 days. Right? Is anybody gonna touch it? If you're the first person to answer and say, hell no, I ain't fucking with that. I would never touch your bread. You're the first person that I won't trust. And I'll tell you why. You didn't even allow yourself you didn't even allow your brain to marinate on what $1 million would look like on the table. Now, even if you really wouldn't do it, but the fact that you didn't even allow your brain to let it marinate and be like, damn, man, $1 million, what could I do with $1 million? Like, your brain should automatically, damn, what would I do if I took $1 million? Damn, I would have to get away. Like, the scenarios should start playing out in your head because that's a natural human thing to do. But if as soon as I put the period on my sentence and you reply, you're the first person that I gotta watch. And I'm probably not going to really trust you that much. You have to be honest. The reason I don't trust anybody, I don't trust anybody 100%. Nobody, friends, family, nothing. I don't trust anybody 100% because I expect people to be 100% human, right? My not trusting you 100%, it's actually giving you grace. So that when you do fuck up, there's an expectation, okay, like I already gave you some leeway. I expected this to be coming. If I put 100% into that and then you failed me on that, I don't know how far my forgiveness is going to go. I don't know how much I would be able to honor our friendship or association after that. So it's better I keep the mindset of like, yo, let me just give you 98% and keep this 2% for me to give you grace for your natural fuck up that you're going to do. Because it's going to happen. Right? And let me tell you this. I had a situation where somebody close to me failed me, right? But I seen it coming a mile away. It was shocking in the manner in which it happened, but it wasn't shocking that it happened. The reason saying is because after a certain amount of time, me being the person who I've always been, I've I might have matured, but I've always been the same kind of person. Like, you mature, you grow out of things, you grow into things or whatever, but I'm always me, right? So when you're around me or you're with me or I'm with you or whatever, we just know like you're always going to get me and how me in 1994 and me in 2004 would be the same person, just matured. So no, what I may react to in 1994, I might not react to in 2004. I feel the same way I did in 2004, but that I do in 94, but my reaction may be different, but I'm still the same fucking person, right? So with this situation, I seen it coming. And the reason I seen it coming is because, again, back to I see who you're around. Now, we're getting past into certain years, and I'm starting to see that your circle is changing. You were part of my circle. I was part of your circle, right? But now your circle is starting to look different. There was a point of time where you could have your separate circle, I could have my separate circle, and our circles could mesh because we are like in mind. Like in mind, maturity and what's the word I'm looking for? Morality, right? Our morals match. When I start seeing that your circles are changing and our circles can't mesh. Now I'm not saying that my circle has to be friends with your circle. Not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if we put your circle and my circle in the same room, it should still be, it should just be love in the room. Whether we know each other, they might not completely get along, but there's still an understanding that this is love in this room, right? When I start seeing that your circle is changing, then I have to start readjusting. That's when that 2% comes into play. Like, okay, see, this is why I have this here for you, homie, right? I gave you that. This is that 2%. Now, when you beat down and wear and tear on that 2%, and you start getting into 3 and 5% of your bullshit, then that's when I pull back. But just keep in mind, when I pull back, the people in all the circles, in the immediate circles, I'm gonna have to let them know what the reason is, just so that I can't allow you to create a narrative. I may not really give a fuck, but I just don't want the narrative, because I don't want those new people to think that they can play with me like how you just play with me. You got grace. Those people will never get a grace. Right? So that's where the trust thing comes into. And all that to say is, like, you gotta pay attention to who you're around and who the people who you're around, who they're around. Right? You gotta look into who, not just who they are, but who the people that are around them are, because birds of a feather flock together. If the people that they're around are off, then clearly it's going to be something with them, with the person has to match and mesh. So they're off. You just didn't see it off top, but look at who they're all around. If all these fucking weirdos are around them, then that person's a weirdo too. You just didn't see it up front. Right? But I'm not going to hold you too long. You know how I go. I do my thing. I come in here, jump in. But again, I say unto y'all, I am thankful for all you guys that view. I appreciate it. If you like, subscribe. Please subscribe. Please share. Share to a friend. Hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds. Subscribe, like, subscribe. In whichever order you want to do it. Doesn't matter. Subscribe, like, subscribe. But when you finish those 2 things, just hit the little share button, copy link, boom, send it off to your friends. Throw it in your WhatsApp, throw it in your Instagram, whatever it is, man. Just share it. Let's get it out. Because bigger and better things are coming. It's for sure. I got some great interviews coming up. I know I said it. I hope y'all really enjoyed the interview with Yavin. That was an amazing interview. I think when his stuff drops, when I bring him back, people really liked him or whatever. And again, for those of you who know me directly, do me a favor. The grace and the thanks and the love that y'all show and y'all send to me, put it in the comments. Right? I appreciate all the text messages, but put them in the comments. It helps, because once you do it, then people understand that they can do it or whatever, and it trickles down. I love it. I appreciate it. I'm thankful for it. Super thankful. But please just put it in the comments. Because when you send it direct to me, only I enjoy it. Let other people see that there's other people enjoying it. Right? All right. Well, with that said, again, appreciate you being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Love and respect you. And remember, like, share, subscribe, and most important, drink water.